What's up? Welcome back to the second episode of Free Kickin here at the Free Kickin studio. We've got our new host on, an additional host, I should say. Dude, he's out this episode. He got the boot. I thought he stole a lot of the show, last time.
He didn't get the boot. It's a rotating lineup.
It's rotating. He got the boot. We got our new guest here, man. A good friend of mine, a good friend of ours, Kaz. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Great
unbelievable
to be here.
Do you want
to give your whole name?
Just Kaz. Michael Dean Kozelik. We're out here, also known as Mike Dean Productions, also known as Gustaf, also known as Polish Jesus.
Oh my God!
There you have it.
I didn't even know that's how you pronounce your last name, dude. The Polish last names, the Z's and the I's and the L's and the K's, they all get mixed up.
I get it, dude.
Can you, what do you got there? Is that a little sound?
Got a little sound bowl going on.
Yeah, can you hit
here.
that right quick?
You sure? Sure bet I can.
That's good. That's real
nice.
good.
Oh,
That's
wow.
nice.
Dude, thank you. Thank you for being here. I know a couple months ago you were about to go back to Finland, and I kind of roped you in and convinced you to come play for Chicago House, this new team. Yeah, man, we're roommates now. We're living in Pilsen together. The drive here is about 15 minutes, but it's fucking brutal. The potholes in Pilsen, the people of Pilsen don't deserve these potholes.
Absolute landmines.
No, it's absolute landmines. It's a joke, dude. And then, you start creeping into the city and from that area it gets a little spooky sometimes.
A lot of missing limbs.
That's what you said on the way down here. You said the closer you get to the city, the less limbs people have. Mm-hmm. And that's a fact.
You'll never unsee it once you notice it.
No, that's a fact. But dude, I'm genuinely so happy that you're here. I'm happy that we're roommates finally. It feels good. But you were about to go back to Finland. I didn't want you to go. And neither did the universe.
I know.
It took you 3 tries. They wouldn't let you over because of COVID stuff at first, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had the whole COVID debacle, which sucked. That was a real hassle. So we were 0 for 2 on that. I would go back with some new paperwork every time, and then I needed new paperwork.
But you were signed. Like you had a team.
Yeah, where were you playing in Finland?
So I was playing for Sporting Kristina in Kristinestad, Finland. Was there for the first year. That would have been 2 seasons ago. Everything went swimmingly. We had a great season. And then the second year we were really stoked, had some big guys coming in, was supposed to be a big year. And and then the COVID debacle of travel kind of set in.
Yeah, because you called me, we were all saying bye to Kaz, and Kaz calls me and he's like, yeah, I got put in airport jail. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he FaceTimed me from airport jail. I don't know if were you still in Chicago or you had gotten over to London, and they were like, yeah, nuh-uh. This seems sketch.
Break it down for us.
Yes, that was try number 3 for me. And I finally had just enough paperwork to get through this time.
To get out of the country.
To get out of the country. So got out of the U.S., which was a big step. That was huge. I kind of knew I was home free after that.
What kind of paperwork are we talking for people who just don't understand this situation?
So I would have to have proof of work, essentially, contract stuff, bank statements, all of that good stuff to prove I was there the year before. And then there would always be something else. Oh, you need a letter from so-and-so that they wouldn't tell you the first time around. So yeah, real pain in the ass. But airport jail was the 3rd time around. Finally got out of Chicago, flew to London, was with our keeper actually at the time. He traveled with me, and he had
Who's that?
Tony Halterman.
Okay.
And he had a Croatian passport. So if anything, we were kind of laughing this will be easy for you at least. I figured I was getting kicked out at some point. But we got to London, and right when we got to the gate, the first thing the guy asked for, he's like, do you have a work visa to prove you were here last year? And I had an expired one, my one from the year before. Showed him that, and I was home free as far as getting into Finland. And then they stopped my buddy who even had an EU passport, but because he wasn't there the year before, they sent him home in front of me. So he literally had to turn around at the gate and leave as I was sitting there waiting to board our next flight to Helsinki.
Yeah, dude, that's brutal.
It's rough, dude. Those airport jails are scary.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, what was going on inside there?
Yeah, once I got
no
to
man's land.
100%. Once I got to Helsinki and I was like, oh, I'm clearing the last stage I've got to be in. I'm in the country, they're not going to kick me out now. They would have kicked me out before.
And it's Finland.
It's Finland. Good people, jolly people. You know, they should have let me in at that point. And I knew I was in trouble when I got to the gate. And the guy called the big boss over, you know, the Bowser of the situation. He was like the last evil character. He was the last like evil character you had to get past in order to get into the country. And I knew right away when he said, grab your bag and come with me to the side room, I knew it wasn't looking great for me at that point.
Yeah, dude, I just remember like a baby crying in the background. I think there's a guy smoking a cig inside.
Yeah, I met some characters. I'll tell you that.
So what? They took you to this back room, and then what happens after that?
Then they pretty much told me I wasn't getting in the country. I was going to get deported, and they were going to find me the next available flight out. And in between that period, they were like, it could be 1 to 3 days. I was really hoping it wasn't going to be 3 days. And yeah, they put me in this little airport jail with a bunch of other people going through the same stuff. I met a Moroccan guy who was just chain smoking ciggies the whole time. A German woman who was waiting to be reunited with her husband. So made some friends in there. Everybody had a worse story than me, I'll tell you that, for getting into the country, and I'm pretty sure I was the only one who actually got deported.
Yeah. When you told me about some of the paperwork.
Well, you look like a shady motherfucker.
Yeah, you look,
right,
I mean, you
right.
look like you're up to no good. Like, I don't, Finland's probably like, this guy, no. You're doing what? You're playing lower league soccer? Yeah,
Dude,
no
right.
thanks. We don't need it.
So, when I first was offered my first professional contract at West Ham, and nobody knew like how to navigate like an American kid doing this because I was literally the first one who was there as a youth kid. Mm-hmm. They just kept me over on my student visa for like the first 3 months. And then I tried to fly home like right before I was supposed to report back for preseason, and they put me in airport jail because I didn't have a work visa. And I was like, yeah, I'm a professional soccer player. Like, this is what I do. And they're like, this is a student visa. What are you talking about? So in my airport jail, it was
you're
Heathrow.
like
It was just
12.
much nicer. I was
Like
17.
12 years old.
I was 17, but still. But despite the fact that I was like clearly distressed, and I was 17, I was a kid. I was like, can I call and I was just hoping somebody would be nice to me, and they were treating me like an international terrorist.
Right.
Were the vibes the same? Because that shit is terrible, dude. It's
like,
dehumanizing.
they're always trying to catch you caught up in something. That's what I realized. Because right when I got there, the first guy called me out of the cell for like my first meeting, and he's like, all right, so we're going to walk you through like what's about to happen. And he's like, well, you were in possession of an expired work visa, so you're probably going to get fined for that. You're going to have to sign off on that. And I was like, whoa. I was like, my man, I did not try to get into the country on an expired visa. I just used the card to show that I had proof of residence the year before. But they tried to catch me up on that, and I refused to sign it. I was like, I can't sign that. I followed my dad's advice. He was like, don't sign anything.
It's big time.
So I was like,
never
okay.
sign a fucking
Don't
thing.
sign anything.
Yeah, dude. And then I remember you texted me and you're like, oh, I need to be in a relationship. And I was like, oh, fuck. Is Kaz about to like have some fake marriage go down, some like paper signed and stuff? Like
90 Day
so he could
Fiance
get in?
approached you initially.
It was
dude.
pretty close to that. So when I got kicked back out, they flew me back home, and I was like, I figured that was it, to be honest, for the year.
Wait,
I was
wait.
like,
Explain the whole like when they finally kicked you out and you like what happened.
okay, so
I like this part.
they let me out of the airport jail for like an hour to go get food. So I went to Burger King naturally. And
Did they follow you?
Oh yeah, they followed me. But they watched from a distance. They were really polite about it. So they didn't walk me there, but they watched me the whole time. Had a guy like 50 yards away. Got my Burger King, and then I went back and hung out in the cell all night until the morning. They got me a flight out in the morning. And then when I went to go get set up for this flight, they already had my passport still that they had taken from me, so I wouldn't run. Don't know where I was going to go in airport jail. But regardless, so the next morning I go get my passport, and then they hand me my new ticket for my flight, and the lady's like, sorry, it said priority security on it. So they're like, well, we're going to have to cuff you to walk you to the plane. I was like, what? I think you got the wrong guy, but I just played along with it. I was super cool with it. And the lady's like, so what happened? Like, if you don't mind me asking. And I told her the whole story, and she's like, I think someone messed up the paperwork because we got a different report of like what we were handling and stuff like that. And I was like, not the guy, I don't think.
But dude, you were knocking on that door, and I know why you wanted. I know why you wanted to go back so bad. You wanted to go back so bad because you were a goddamn king, in whatever small little Finnish village you were living in, dude. You created an alter ego for yourself. You were calling yourself Gustaf. All the kids were chanting your name on the side.
You were playing the
Gustaf,
10.
Gustaf. You were hitting piss missiles from like 30 yards out. You know, you were like people liked you there, man. You like made it your own little thing.
You were a local celebrity.
It was cool, dude. It was a cool experience.
You were like a true modern day Viking up there in Scandinavia. Like you're the American Viking.
Traditionally, what position do you play in soccer?
I grew up playing as a winger and then converted to like a wing back through college, and then slowly started transitioning back into the midfield. Was playing a bit of the 6'8", and then.
But you were a 10.
Who knows who let me be the 10 over there? Dude, but God bless.
Yeah. Cause you got into some shit when you were living in Finland. What is probably the best / worst thing that ever happened to you when you were over there? In terms of like how epic it was.
When I was in peak Gustaf form and I couldn't be stopped. Mid-season.
Yeah.
The goals were flying in. The town was just on a full celly bender. I would do this thing where I would convince people at the local bar. We had like one bar that was really open late, Ismo. And I would just try to get as many people as I could when the bar was closing to come jump in the water with me in the middle of town, skinny dip. And we got quite the following after a few weeks of doing this. And on about week 3,
but Finland's like it's like light all day, right? Like in the
summer. In the summer.
Like, yeah.
So you're leaving the bar at 3-4 in the morning, and it's broad daylight. It doesn't look any different. So you got to battle that. So I would just try and get people to dip in the water, just a nice little dip before we all go home. And one night, my clothes got a little wet, and I had to ride my bike home in my undies. And there was a few pictures that got snapped. I'll put it that way. Got caught up by the reporter, and my club was kind enough to work some backdoor deals so those photos never made it to the paper.
Slip him some money.
Yeah. Take care of that.
They were like, dude, photos leaking of Gustaf naked on the bike, bro. It was going to be on the front page of the paper, and your club was like, nah.
Would have been damaging.
What's the Finnish, like, dollar? What is it?
Yeah, they're on the euro.
Oh, they are?
Slip a few euros that way. Mm-hmm.
Dude,
strong currency.
Strong.
That's incredible, man. Yeah, no, overseas. Playing overseas is weird because you tell people in America, like when I told people I was going to play for Czech Republic, they were like, oh, wow. Like they thought it was a true upgrade from where I was at with the Chicago Fire. It's not. The lower leagues in Europe are scary and lonely, and you don't know what the fuck's going on most of the time. Because like in Czech Republic, no one spoke English.
Yeah.
You know, and after a while, because I grew up with enough Eastern Europeans, I know the bad words. I know when somebody's not happy. You know, with me, and you start to figure it out, man. Like you start to slowly understand what people are saying. But I remember my first day at training, my agent had driven me from Prague down to Znojmo, border of Austria and Czech Republic, and I hop in, I get in a small little locker room, nice little training field, but I get in and we're warming up in the corner, opening, closing the gate, all that shit, leg swings, the whole deal. I still say warming up is the hardest part about playing pro soccer. Getting the body moving, warming up is the hardest part. Anyway, we're warming up at the corner, right? We're doing our thing, and all of a sudden I see this guy. He looked like a track coach. He was carrying a bunch of like shot puts and discus, and he was walking with a female student from the local school for track practice. And he's cutting across our grass. And our coach yells something at him in Czech, like probably, hey, go around, don't cut through our training session, right? And this guy from like 40 yards away flicks our coach off. And then we all kind of stop warming up, and I see our coach slowly start making his way over to this dude. And now we're all watching. We're not warming up. We're watching our coach interact with this guy, and he just starts throwing haymakers at this guy's face. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is like my first 5 minutes of training in Czech Republic, and I'm like, what is going on, dude? Our coach is beating the shit out of this pedestrian. And out of my peripherals, I'm walking, and all my teammates I see them like sprint out of the side of my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I should go help break this up too. Right? Because that's what I thought they were going to do. Break up the fight. No, dude, all my Czech teammates started kicking this guy while he was down on the ground. And so I got close, and I think we're about to break it up. And everyone's wailing on this guy and kicking this guy. And I'm not shitting you. The 13-year-old girl that was there for track practice had this look on her face like, oh, this again.
Not again.
Like she was not even phased, dude. And
she was just waiting for the fucking disaster.
She was not. She was 13 years old, like just trying to go to track practice. She wasn't even phased by the scene. The guy gets up. He's all bloodied up. He leaves. He learned his lesson. We go back to training. No repercussions. No cops called. Nothing, dude. We went back like it was totally normal. The coach didn't address the team about it. You know, like, and I was, dude, it was just like immediate shock. I was like,
well,
where am I? What am I doing here?
That set an incredible precedent for Znojmo.
Yeah.
Because I remember you calling me, and then I'm doing my research, and I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? You're like, I'm here, I'm in Znojmo, and no offense if you're listening and you're in Znojmo. The number one attraction listed on every single site is this highway stop. Like
it's like a truck stop.
Like Iowa 80. It's the number one attraction in this region.
It's like the Route 66 of Europe.
Dude, it's
the world's biggest gas station or truck stop. You know,
truck
when you
stop. And it's got like the front of it is like a big fake plaster dragon. And there's like a putt-putt course, and I'm guessing snacks and probably a lot of human trafficking.
I was about to say that.
And that is
for sure
the number one attraction in Znojmo. So you want to tell the people like exactly where you were and what it was like?
There's nothing to do. I was on the border of Czech Republic and Austria. It was actually like the landscape is really beautiful and stuff. Like there were some old castles and things, but there was nothing to do. Like after training, I would go to the castle and like, I don't know, like try to read a book, like attempt to read a book for a little bit and then get bored and go home. And I was just like chilling in bed and, dude, it sucked. It was super lonely. You know, that was the one thing we were talking about, like being over there and not speaking the language or anything like that is like, it's just a tough thing, dude. And like, I like being around people and being around things that are happening, and it was nuts. And then halfway through our season, we like weren't getting paid. And I was the only one that said something, and they were kind of like, yeah, well, we didn't win. But then I found out that our owner or somebody that knew our owner was placing bets on our preseason games before I was there. Like some dude wire transferred some money, like $80,000 from Colombia, and bet on a second-tier Czech Republic preseason game and bet for us to lose, and we put all our academy kids on the field that game. So like somebody within the club was throwing that game and making some money, and FIFA was on their ass. And like halfway through our season, our owner comes in and all the players are like, he's talking, all the players are like throwing their water bottles at shit, and they're like kurva and like swearing, and I'm like, what's going on? And some kid explained to me like that basically our club was involved in some type of insider trading, match fixing bullshit, and so we weren't getting paid. So like dudes were bringing, like they weren't paying for preschool, so they were like bringing their kids in the locker room, and there were like 10 kids in our locker room just like playing soccer and shit. When we get back in, I was like, dude, this was not what I thought it was.
Yeah, because you hear second tier, and you're like, one
maybe
below the big time. There's some Czech clubs that get Champions League qualification, but
and that was my thing. I was like, if I can go over there and somehow get to a first division Czech team, now I'm competing against teams that are in Champions League. We took last place. We got relegated, so that didn't really work out, you know. But
there's no way.
But the reason I went there is because I was like, I was in camp with Minnesota United, and I was with them all preseason. They let me go at the airport. I thought I was getting signed, and I was like, I don't want to go play USL Championship because guys from the USL Championship rarely make it back to MLS. It's like you have to do what Tyler Pasher did.
Yeah.
For I don't know, 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Score miraculous goals, run by people, consistently prove that you're the most dangerous player in the league for somebody in the MLS to go, oh, maybe we should take a chance on this guy.
Yeah, maybe we should give this guy $65K.
Yeah, now Tyler Pasher's balling in the MLS for Houston Dynamo, just got called up to the Canadian national team. It's like, dude, there's good players in USL Championship now, man. Like,
no, there's I mean,
Louisville's doing things
there's
right.
big market. I mean, there's a lot of good players. It's just the tag, and then they'd rather go and get like a South American kid or something like that,
and spend buku bucks, and you know, like some of the guys that you see these sporting directors and coaches take chance on in the MLS, and like over guys that are in their own backyard playing in the USL Championship, and some of those guys like they bring it over from Europe that are a similar age or similar position as some of these guys that they don't always pan out, and you're like, man, you could have got this guy for a steal. He plays in Louisville or he plays in Indy or whatever it may be, and it's like it sucks to see, dude. But yeah, a translator to know what was really going on in Czech Republic would have been nice. And dude, we were talking about this MLS game this past week, San Jose and Rapids.
Yeah.
This coach for San Jose apparently doesn't speak English. I forgot the guy's name.
It's Almeida.
Almeida. And this guy's got his own translator for the bench,
who I guess is like on staff. Like he's dressed like a coach, but he's a translator.
Yeah. So basically what happened is the coach went to the translator and told the ref, he was basically like, hey, go tell the ref to fuck himself. Now, I don't know if he said that, but I assume basically that's what he meant.
Dude, they gave the translator a red card.
And then they gave they shot the messenger. They gave the translator the red card. It's like if I told Kaz, hey, Kaz, go tell Mahoney, you know, he can go jump off a cliff. And then you're like, hey, Mahoney, Drew said to go jump off a cliff. And then you punch me in the face. Or no, you punch Kaz in the face. You punch the messenger in the face.
And then there's a clip of the head coach like turning around and like throwing his hands up and laughing and sort of like, don't tell him exactly what I said type shit. But like, I get it because he's from what I've heard and like guys at San Jose, like he's actually a really good coach.
The coach, no, I've heard good things, but
so like if you need a translator, you need a translator. But like,
what a shit fest, dude!
What a fucking
like,
joke, man!
Like the translator's saying what the coach said, and then they red card the translator. I'm thinking like, do you really need a translator for the bench? Like, I think if you're upset, the referee's going to get the hint regardless of what language you're speaking. You know, that doesn't really matter. But I don't know about this translator guy, man. I think
he's vying for an assistant coach job. That's what he's doing.
He's trying to be a coach.
You know what I'm saying? I think the ref got it fucking right.
Oh, you do?
You know what I think? You know what I think happened? I think the coach gave like the fuck you. We'll say the hypothetical, whatever he said. But then I think the translator went over and was like, hey, fuck you, and you're a little bitch, too.
He got emotionally.
He added something, and the ref was at least smart enough to go, he said more than what the other guy fucking said to me. He goes, I see what's going on here. Red card.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
Dude,
So you think the ref got it right?
I think he's spot on.
You think he was right? You think the ref is like, nah, he didn't say that. I know.
Not today. Not today.
Yeah, dude. That's just the dude who got emotionally involved, man. Oh my God, that's so good.
So Kaz, I heard you brought us a little snack for today. you had an order come in.
I come bearing gifts just for you.
A finished order.
Got a little Supremo Odin Snus action for you, bud. Enjoy.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that right there is premium grade diesel snus from Sweden, but Finnish and Swedish culture with snus in general is pretty out of control.
What is snus, guys?
Snus is a tobacco, but not loose, so it's like a pouch tobacco.
People confuse. I mean, people see that and they think it's like standard like dip, like American chewing tobacco, and it's not.
No, not at all. Way better, slightly better for you, of course, too, like how it's treated and stuff, not chemically and not meant to really mangle your mouth. But definitely
keep selling our audience. Tell them why.
Definitely strong.
We're pro snus pod.
Yeah, we're very pro snus over here. So it's the good stuff. It's like freeze dried. They don't burn the tobacco. So they actually don't even have to promote in there, like on our tobacco products, how it causes cancer here. They don't have to do that there.
Yeah,
they just have to acknowledge
the American
nicotine
stuff. It has all that fiberglass and they put all that preservatives in it. This shit
that's
like
the good shit, dude.
This shit like expires.
The wintergreen
It's like food.
flavor.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, that makes me want to puke. All my hockey friends did that.
I,
growing up.
I'm pretty sure they burn the tobacco here, which also is like that whole.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so carcinogenic and cancerous.
Brings out the good shit.
I didn't when I was over in like summer before my senior year. I went over to Sweden and everyone had these in there. You put in your upper lip. Everyone had these. Girls, guys, they were all over the
Teenagers,
street.
right? I mean,
they were all
young
over
kids.
the street.
Small children.
It's like part of their part of their culture, dude. Like over there in Scandinavia, they dip snus and they sit in saunas. Like that's what they do. And I you know, over the past couple of years, like when we were like in the MLS and stuff, like more and more guys were doing this like before training and stuff. And when I was over there, like even in Czech Republic, I noticed guys had it in. And man, like when I was over in Czech and I like first tried that, it was kind of all I had. It's kind of all I had.
You developed a little bit of a problem.
All Drew had was snus, rice, and beans, and calling friends at home.
Oh,
and
dude, I was just calling people, man. I was so bored.
Drew would call me once a week, and I think he developed this like alter ego. He started like doing skits for himself, and he like became this like Italian mafia guy.
I had to find a way to keep my sanity. I was like writing little skits for myself, and I would like give them back in this character, this like Donnie Italian character that I would do. Maybe we'll find some of those old clips and we'll post them in the pod. But dude, it was like just trying to keep my sanity out there, and it was nuts. But not all, you know, overseas soccer adventures are that bad where you have to resort to snus. I mean, I think you got to spend some time in Australia. Was that your year after Butler? You went straight to Australia?
That was like my third year out, so I was in Sweden before that. But yeah,
Australia
ended up in
seems
Oz.
nice, dude. Guys, if young soccer players, if you're trying to try your luck overseas, don't go to
Don't go
Eastern Europe.
freeze your dick off somewhere.
Don't go to Scandinavia. Go to Australia. Go to Australia.
Go to the
like
beach.
Kaz did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No.
with Diamante.
Yeah,
with
bro.
Alino.
That guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, shout out Alino Diamanti. This guy was he came for like a training stint with the Fire. He's won a World Cup with the Italian national team. He recognized DJ because he was at West Ham when DJ was in the academy, and DJ was like training with their EPL team when he was younger. And Diamanti like came up to him and was like, DJ, I thought you would be signed by a big club. Why are you here?
Just in the MLS, buddy.
Why are you here in Chicago? But dude, Oz seemed incredible.
Yeah.
But the pay sucks in the second tier of Australia, right?
Well, because
it's not fantastic.
There's no pro rel. This is a good thing to mention. Australia, the second tier is just a huge regional system.
100%. It's technically amateur. Everything outside of the top tier is all semi-pro.
Yeah.
So you can find a few clubs that are throwing some cash around, or you can find the club I found that wasn't throwing cash around. So I traded my snus
what's
addiction.
the Australian dollar called? What do they call it?
The Aussie dollar. Yeah.
Just-
Australian dollar. That's all it's called.
That's fucking boring.
It's weak.
What do the locals call
Weak.
it?
Yeah, Aussie dollar.
Did you
whatever it is.
did you or
Yeah.
teammates like have to work some second jobs or anything like that?
That would have been the smarter route to get real employment, but we chose the gambling route. Traded a snus addiction for a gambling one. Yeah. I lived with another American who we know, David Caban, for
Friend
a
of the
while
pod.
when I was out there. And we developed a betting system on the craps table. And no joke, probably for 4.5, 5 months straight, we spent 4 to 5 days a week sitting in the casino for 4 to 5 hours a day at the craps table. Really, really doing it.
How did this work?
It was a 2-part system we had going. First of all, we were getting pretty decent at craps, or as decent as you can tell yourself as you're gambling, as if you have control. So we had some real hot
Yeah,
days.
you always think you're young, you're like 21, 22, and you're like, oh, I'll try.
Maybe
go to the
I
casino.
can throw
And you
these
think-
dice special.
You think you got it figured out. Me and Mahoney, we used to.
You developed a system.
Oh yeah.
When we were
Oh, yeah.
like 21, we're like, oh no, we understand how this electronic roulette machine works. We've really figured it out.
We went to Rivers a lot.
Yeah. Tell them the story when we were at Rivers and we had this Indian guy like behind us watching us.
dude, Mahoney was
and
just-
I was just I was winning. We were up $2,000 at one point.
Mahoney,
On the electric
on the
roulette.
we put
electric
$100
roulette.
in this electronic roulette, and Mahoney's just hitting, and the machine's
giggling,
like
just
the machine's
giggling.
super fast. You don't really have to wait for it, so you're like pop, 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 boom, and then Mahoney would
$5
like,
on 4.
Yeah, And then he'd be like, and then he would like load up like the number 4's favorite number, and then it'd hit. And there were like these 2 Indian guys behind us, and they're looking at Mahoney just like, you know, just like doing it, dude. And they were like, you guys need to leave. Like, you need to take the money and leave right now. But so, Kaz, you thought you had it, you had a little system figured out.
Listen, it was a 2-part system. We relied heavily on our gambling winnings, and then also we realized that when we became like rewards members, if we sat at the table, regardless if we were betting or not, we were racking up points, and then that's how we were eating these massive meals at the really nice restaurants in the casino for free. So it also was like our food plan. It was like our meal plan. So
the team's meal plan
it's
was
like the college campus.
What city were you in?
I was in Melbourne. Yeah.
So this is nice,
Awesome,
city,
major city, beautiful city, but like stuff's expensive.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have money in that 100%. City, right?
So like you're trying to get in the mix a few times, and you have a few big nights on the craps table, and you think you're unstoppable.
That's
know?
fucking fun,
dude. A couple years ago,
are you gonna tell Mikey Stevens hit it big?
No, we can't.
Why not?
Yeah, Mikey Stevens. Long story short, Mikey Stevens.
Hopefully, we get him in.
Mikey
here
Stevens.
Soon.
Yeah, I'd love to hear a story from Mikey Stevens about that. That dude knows how to play. I know he stays far away from casinos now. He's working for U.S. Soccer. He's the head scout.
Okay, yeah,
he's the head scout. So,
but a friend of a pod. Left Rivers with a duffel bag. We'll say that.
Yeah, and so no, a couple years ago, you know, I was a senior in college. I just signed my first pro contract with the Fire, and Ryan hit me up, and he's like, "Hey, I'm doing this DraftKings thing," and he's like, "Do you want to throw $100 at this week of NFL football?" And I said,
Playoffs.
"Sure." Playoffs. I said, "Sure, I'll give you $100." I Venmo Ryan $100. You know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who we're betting on. I don't know who we picked, but it was the end of winter break, and we were chilling at my parents' house, and man, some guy that Ryan had on his lineup who was like 3rd string wide receiver scored 2 touchdowns, and Ryan won like $30,000. And my mom like didn't believe us, you know, and my dad didn't believe us, and we're like, oh my God, this is what we're doing now for the next 3 years. We're gonna be DraftKings guys. We're gonna do this. So a couple months come around. I'm on loan in St. Louis. I'm with AJ. I'm with Pat Duty, and a couple other guys on the team. And Ryan's like, do you want to round up a couple guys on the team, and we'll all throw a couple $100 at this Masters tournament?
Yeah, and we had about, I'd say we probably had like 20 people in on it. We had a total like $4,000.
Yeah, so
into
we had
this tournament.
And you're a big research guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm sitting
on Excel, watching interviews, and going nuts for probably like the whole week straight. I mean, it's like a 40-hour work week.
Yeah, so
if
Ryan,
you want to actually win.
Ryan's doing research. He's, you know, and how it works is, I don't know how much each team costs, but basically you pick a lineup, and he made a bunch of different lineups, right? And we had a bunch of cash that we were creating all these lineups. And me and my team, we were gone in Sacramento, and it was Sunday at the Masters.
Yeah, Sunday at the Masters.
2016.
Yep.
And we're coming back from Sacramento, and AJ and Duty were like, "Oh, hey, how's the Masters thing going?" We haven't checked up on Ryan. How's it doing?
Because I go quiet during
Ryan goes,
because it's 4 days straight. Like, so you don't know shit until like the last 30 minutes of the tournament.
And so Ryan, I text Ryan, "Hey, how are we doing? Update. It's Sunday." He goes, "I don't want to tell you." And I'm like, it's either really bad or really good. And I call him, and he's like, "All right, dude, I'll send you a screenshot. I don't want to talk about it." He's freaking out. So, and he hangs up on me, he sends me a screenshot with his name, his DraftKings username next to the $1 million winning, and also in 3rd place. We're winning like $1.2 million. And there's like 6 holes of golf left.
That's it, yeah.
And all Jordan Spieth has to do
is win.
Is par out or win.
He had
not play his worst golf he's ever played
in history, yeah.
So Jordan Spieth's on fire. All we need. So we're in the casino, and Ryan's
he's up 5 strokes at this point.
Ryan sends me this.
He just has to finish.
And Pat Duty's like freaking out because he's like, I'm about to win $40,000 off a $100 bet.
What were you gonna win? Do you know?
Like 380.
No, you were like 250, and after taxes, I was like 380.
Yeah, you were 380.
Yeah. And you were like 250.
AJ was like
100. AJ had like 120K.
Oh my God, dude. We were in this casino in St. Louis on a Sunday after a game, and we are all running around like children. Like
meanwhile, I'm having a fucking heart attack.
So we are running around like children. There's like a couple holes left. Ryan, I'll let you take it from here. But we're in the casino. We're all watching, and all of a sudden we just see Jordan Spieth just crumble. Just fucking crumble under pressure. And we're watching this at the casino. And I take this glass and I chuck it against the wall and it shatters. And the manager's like, you got to get out of here. And I'm like, dude, look. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, you need Jordan to like par out here. And we're like, yes. The whole casino comes over and is watching this go down. And, you know.
Yeah. So basically Jordan puts one in the drink on 12 and proceeds to put another one in the drink on his second shot and ends up quad bogeying a par 3, which is, I mean, that's something that like I haven't done in like 30 rounds.
Golfing.
30
Dude,
rounds
it was like tree, water, sand.
Horrible.
Water. I was like, pull my hair out. I'm like, oh my God, dude, he's gonna lose it all.
And so so the crazy part is after that hole, he was still in the lead by like 3 strokes.
He like still had a shot.
He still had a shot.
End.
And what happened was the guy who ended up winning, Danny Willett, literally, like he went on a fucking heater. Like he went -6 that day. And the worst part about it is he almost put one in the drink about 4 different times. And if one of those balls rolls in, we win $1 million. And I'm talking like on the fucking edge of the golf course from like rolling. And at Augusta, it's so easy for those balls to run in. And we just ran so bad for the last like 6 holes of that golf tournament. Dude.
It was heartbreaking. It's still one of the most insane stories I have.
So
I wonder
the
what
pod
would have.
doesn't gamble anymore.
No, I stay out of casino.
No, I mean I'm still making money on DraftKings.
He just doesn't tell me anymore. It was like, dude, it was heartbreaking. And I tell people that story, they don't believe it. I have to pull up the screenshot all the time to show them we were winning it.
You know what?
But I wonder what would have happened had we won it.
We came in 10th. So
out of like 800,000 people, we placed 10th.
No, it was like 330,000.
Out of 330,000, we took 10th.
Yeah, we took 10th. We won I think we won like 16 grand. We all split it. So
yeah.
we still made a pretty penny, but
dude,
it was horrifying.
It was tough.
Let's just say this: we wouldn't be making this podcast had we won that day. Who knows where the hell I might be? I might be in the bottom of the ocean right now.
Well, the guys on the team at St. Louis at the time were like, we're not going to training tomorrow if we win. We're going to Vegas. And so who knows what that would have turned into. Best thing I could have done at that point, it was just give my money over to some type of financial advisor, which I don't think I would have done.
Tesla and Bitcoin. That was the plan for all of us, to be honest. And if we had done that, I mean, like I said, we would be multi-millionaires right now.
Yeah. I'm glad it didn't happen, though. I'm honestly glad it didn't happen because I think one of us would be dead right now.
And we're here making
I think one of the guys that won that much money would be dead somehow. I don't know how. Somehow.
I can't imagine being the 20-year-old kid with $400,000 in the bank.
That's a reckless
and
group.
debt.
And that's a reckless group.
Yeah.
And if that happened, we wouldn't have the pod. We wouldn't be back in Chicago because you wouldn't have had to come play.
You wouldn't have gone to Czech Republic.
I could have avoided that whole
you
thing.
You would have
never discovered snus.
Did you try one of those?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Way more powerful than what we got over here. That's all I have to say.
Snus, European escapades, gambling. Not a lot of topics that I thought we'd be bringing up on this show. I think a lot of people thought it would be strictly soccer.
But it's free.
But it's free. So please keep tuning in. Like and subscribe, man. Share it. Hit the subscribe button. It doesn't take long. Just move your finger and just click it. It's not hard. Do it for us.
And
it means a lot to us.
It's free to do.
Look, this is, this is our thing now. Kaz doesn't want to go back to doing manual labor. Why?
If you want to save a Polish kid from doing manual labor, the least you could do is subscribe. It's the least you could do.
This guy does construction in the off season, man.
Save a Polish kid from doing manual labor. All right. This has been Free Kickin'. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.